All right. Hi everyone. My name is Toluwani Adegoke, and with me is my friend. Tolu, I've known you for 2 years now. It's been 2 years. I was looking at the calendar the other day, and Google brought a photo that I took when I started with Datadog, and that was where I first knew you from. And I've known you. You've been so serious. If there's one word that can use to describe you, you are workaholic. You are
Well,
workaholic. I don't want to be like honestly, I don't want to be like you yet. But it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I'll allow you to introduce yourself. But tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and yeah, let's start from there.
that's really amazing, right? I'm going to cut off that part where Timdope said I'm a workaholic. I'm just a soft girl. And I like to really enjoy life, but sometimes life gives you some other things. Okay, so he has already mentioned my name, Toluwani Adegoke. Um, okay, I always describe myself as a very big lover of God, number one. I'm a data scientist, right? Um, Data science is my full-time profession. I also direct, an organization, Confluence Impact IT. I'm there as the executive director. I'm also the lead author at Flaming Books, right? So basically, I'm an author. So at Flaming Books, I represent the lead author, and I've written 5 books to the grace of God, and majority of them are published at the moment. On the side, when I'm not doing anything, I just eat, read, see movies, and all those other nice fun things, right? So
Wow,
yeah,
you watch movies. Wow, I thought you never have the time.
I do.
Interesting. When I was thinking of the questions and I was thinking of Todu's hobbies, I thought she would never watch movies. Where does she have the time? Where does she get the time to? But it's interesting. It's interesting. So leading two organizations. It's quite a lot. Let's talk about a bit of IT. Let's talk about what you do in technology. What exactly, or how exactly do you serve as an IT firm? What exactly do you do as an IT firm?
All right. So when it comes to technology, using the scope of Confluence Impact IT, right? At Confluence Impact IT, I'm a data scientist, I'm a data analyst. Sometimes I'm the lead tutor, right? Sometimes I'm a generative AI person on the team. Sometimes I'm a website designer, right? Sometimes I just go around, right? But one thing I've learned is in as much as I cannot have a single niche, right? I can have an expanse of skills that can be interconnected to the niche we are currently operating in, right? So my strongest point would be data science, or at least interconnectedness to get to everything as much as possible. So yes, you can just call me a techie. I introduce myself as a techie so that I don't stress everybody.
Well, I didn't tell you exactly. You told yourself. So let's go with that. But yeah, really, how does technology apply to businesses nowadays? How does it affect the scope of things?
Yes, how does technology apply to most industries nowadays, right? What
Exactly.
is like they are used to? Okay, so when we are talking in terms of technology applying to different sessions, right, or different industries, um, technology is ever rising. So for any industry that's going to stay at the top of the food chain, permit me to use the word food chain because I feel everybody should be able to relate to the food chain, right? So for any industry that is going to consistently stay at the top of the food chain, they need to consistently be able to adapt the use of technology. And the problem with many businesses, especially SMEs, is the fact that they think technology is relatively expensive. So they cannot afford it. But that's not true. It's because they are just plugging into, or they have seen the wrong, not really the wrong side of technology, but they are looking at another side of technology in terms of the expensive ones. But what they really need to consider is what are my immediate needs and what are the kind of technologies that can solve it. a very simple automation could help a business go a very long way. A very simple website design. So I had a client recently come to me. She needed, so she's into care for post, yes, postpartum. Let me use that word. Women that have just given birth and they're pregnant. So she's in that care necessarily. So she came to me recently and she said she's been trying to build a website, but she's been hearing expensive prices like 200,000, 500,000. I said, you know what? I understand the major reasons why you're having those issues. So here's what we are going to do. I'm going to lay my hands on something, right? And I'm going to build you a very, very simple website for this amount. But just give me this amount for setting up and just introduce you to the fact that it doesn't have to be that terrible. I'm going to do it for you at a hugely discounted amount. And then she was like, oh, wow, if you really do this, I'll be excited. And then we eventually set up the website. And it wasn't just the website that was set up. We had a fully customizable back end where she herself, as the owner of business, could actually operate from and switch things up from, right? So when she got it, her excitement was flying all over. And I'm talking about a budget of probably less than 100K or a little bit of over 100K, right? So she basically had access to that. So the problem with businesses is that they are just accessing the wrong set of technologies that is not for them yet, right? So they need to start having access to the right set of technology. Data analytics, Excel could be enough for a small business that is not willing to pay high tier fees, right? Microsoft Power BI could be enough for a business's data analytics that is not up to that power of doing high subscription fees yet. A lot of technologies and tools are available for industries, depending on the sizes, depending on the variety, depending on their whatever you call it. They just need to know the right people, they just need to know the right technology that is fit for where they are at the moment, and then they can scale from there.
Interesting. Interesting. I think for businesses, right? For businesses, like you said, one of the biggest problems that they have is the belief technology is too expensive. I can relate totally with some of the things that you said. When you talk about businesses, when you talk about businesses adopting technology, especially for their productivity and replacing some of the old processes and conventional methods of doing things. And you are passing this message, but it still feels like as if, nah, I don't need this right now, or nah, this thing is not for me. So I don't know really. What do you think? How do you think businesses should be thinking, or how do you think businesses should be approaching technology? Now I know that in some first world countries, we won't see persons denying the place of technology. We'll see them even embracing technology for their processes. I mean, several organizations, even small organizations, a very small business that is not more than a small corner in one place, will build a website where they are hosting thousands to millions of persons from a very small environment. And I mean, we understand that some of these things are the intricacies of how technology is helping even many small businesses go global. I mean, take example. We know Telegram. I think a couple of months back. I was listening to the founder of Telegram. He says they don't have more than 30 staffs, but these staffs are core engineers and they are building a massive platform. They built a massive platform that is hosting millions and millions of people. And I mean, even business owners are carrying their businesses on Telegram. And I mean, just think of the potential that technology has in creating so much awareness or so much. I'm trying to find the word, but for so much effectiveness for your small business. How do you think businesses should be thinking? How do you think they should be thinking?
Amazing question, I must say, right? Businesses should stop thinking about expenses first. Because I feel like that's the problem, especially with third world countries. We are trying to save so much cost that a lot of opportunities that actually fit into our budget pass us by, right? But they ought to start thinking from the place of what can I have at this moment that will sell value for my customers, right? So at the end of the day, it's not just about the fact that okay, this can be expensive. So I was listening to, in fact, from the example that you mentioned, I was listening to this guy, the owner of Seller, in a conference, and when he explicitly mentioned how they created Seller, my mind was blown because it just started from a single person. I think he used to work with Paystack before. He just started as a single person, and from that single person, he connected with a couple of his other friends. And he said, I have this idea. I want businesses to be able to sell their products online, right, without having to pay so much to set up the website. That was the thought process. And then before you know it, they deployed it, they had the first couple of sales. And I think just recently, Stellar became 9 years, 9 solid years, and they have helped a lot of businesses, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, to honestly do a lot of other things. So when they were thinking about it, they were not really centered or fully into the expenses. They were fully thinking about how can we create value for people who need it and for small businesses that need it. So, in essence, there's that mindset that you need to have, right? What do I need to have at this point in time that will spell value to my customers? Once you ask that question, that's your end goal. So, automatically or somehow, your preparedness will meet an opportunity that will fit into your budget. And the problem with businesses is that we are poor with research. Businesses are poor with research. We don't do our research enough, and there are lots of AI tools that are offering research tools for free. If we do sufficient research, we would actually see tools that are fitting into our needs. You can go on LinkedIn and look for other businesses and things that they have done. Reach out to them. They have what you need. It's just because your mindset has been shaped to the point that me, I cannot pay for any technology right now. Technology is too expensive to deploy, right? So that's the mindset. But the first mindset must be about creating values for my customers, creating values for the end people, right? If the first mindset is about that and it stops being about money that I'm going to spend, because, well, let's be sincere, some businesses actually exist for the money. They want to get as many funds as possible, they want to get good profit, but they are not willing to make the proper investment. That's because they have the wrong mindset in the first place, and the only reason why that business is existing is for profit. But if you're existing for profit and you're not creating value, value or money doesn't chase a business that is not creating value. You won't get the money. People only pay for the value that you offer them. So if you're willing to invest because you believe in the value that you can offer to people, you will find the right things that can meet your budget, right? And that's why you see that a lot of businesses, they are created today, within 5 years they are gone because they were always thinking about the expenses, and businesses will start eating into their profit, or sorry, eating into their capital, just because they are not smart enough to know it. And also, most businesses, I understand that most small businesses don't want to have finance people. But at the same time, there are lots of finance tools or apps that are deployed that can help you track your capital, help you track your business expenses to the point of budgeting for it on a monthly basis. And you'll be able to know, okay, this is a small technology that we can adapt at this point in time that will even help us create better value for our customers. So if you are tracking, if you have the right document, if you are making your research, it will be good enough to actually accommodate everything that you need. So the mindset that every business needs to have when it comes to adapting technology is this technology going to actually create more value for my customers? If it is, then I'm buying into it. If I can't buy into this type, there's definitely another version that will be able to create value. That's what it means for a business to be resourceful. So basically, resourcefulness, thinking value rather than just expenses.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, so impressive. I should have done this. Honestly, thinking value rather than thinking the cost. Many businesses are so money oriented that they start to lose the place of the value that they should be offering their customers. And I mean, the whole point of having a business or running a business is that you give value. You give value. Speaking about AI, artificial intelligence, there's been this huge bubble. If you remember back in the time when internet first came in, and persons, of course, were very skeptical. Of course, Africans are always the last to enter the game. And then we had crypto. We had people talking about crypto, how crypto was going to change the globe and things like that. We also had social media. We had social media coming. Many persons were first skeptical, and now we have artificial intelligence. I mean, thinking about it now, it feels like the last persons to get into the game are the ones that suffer the most. Africa has always been left behind. Africa has always been left behind. And artificial intelligence feels like this huge bubble that is about to burst. Now, the rate at which businesses are adopting artificial intelligence compared to the way businesses are still currently doing their businesses, it seems like there's coming a time not too far off that businesses will start to lose. I mean, some businesses will start to go out of work. Why? Because the current way they are operating, the current way they are doing things is starting to grow less and less and less. Persons using artificial intelligence are more competitive and they're able to do more using artificial intelligence. But really, what's your take with the advent of artificial intelligence? Is it just like a rave or that it's going to go and it's going to blow over? Or what exactly do you think, or how exactly do you think artificial intelligence is going to be affecting the way we do things in the coming years?
So this is one thing that people don't know, yeah. Artificial intelligence has been existing for a long time, not just today. Oh. I don't know why. I think it's because the entire noise around ChatGPT only came around maybe 2020, 2021, and then it became fully blown, and then Nigerians started subscribing to the idea. Most of the times when Nigerians subscribe to an idea, just know that the world is ready to know about it.
What about it?
Nigerians
Yeah.
will not keep quiet, right?
Hmm.
So, like, artificial intelligence has been existing since the 90s. Yes, that far back, right? When there were talks about neural networks, there were talks about things around CNN, right? ANN, and different other stuffs. So it only got to this point in time when we are able to have LLMs, large language models, and then all this, we are able to connect them to other platforms using just API keys. And then they were able to have the multimodal capabilities, right? For the voice, for the video, for the rest of that. If you remember, ChatGPT started from only text, right? Not necessarily voice and video. It was only incorporated recently. So that is the problem. That is what people don't know. People keep thinking that artificial intelligence is recent. But it's not recent. It's been in existence since like possibly 20 years ago. That's the fun part. So here's one thing I'm going to say, right? Artificial intelligence is just here to stay. And there's actually nothing that we can do about that. It did not just come into the picture like crypto did. It did not just come into the picture like internet did. It's been here for a while and it's going to stay here for a long time. So it will be very smart of businesses to start adapting AI, because if they don't adapt AI, I mean, of course, not using AI as a tool for replacement, but actually using it like more like an assistant, because that's also another side or another end that is terrible, relying on AI. And every single chat interface of AI, you will see it written, is it Claude, is it ChatGPT, is it Gemini, mention the other ones. They will tell you that AI can make mistakes, right? So basically, because we know that they still have the abilities to make mistakes, we are not fully being reliant on them yet. They are still assistants to us. So it's very important that you don't think about AI like cryptocurrency. Let's even think about cryptocurrency still existing. And very soon there are plans to actually integrate AI into the entire flow, right? There's already technology operating behind the entire flow already, right? But there are still many things that are going to come out. Cryptocurrency is also going to stay. I mean, that's actually based on the future that I'm actually envisioning or looking at. All right. And this is only just the beginning. I think I need to say that this is just the beginning, because we are still in that space of just creating subtle AI. There's still another age where we are going to have smarter AI, and they are going to be that brilliant because they are going to be fed with a lot of data, and they'll be able to generalize to different other fields at the same time. So they are still trying to perfect them in multiple other fields, right? But we are coming to an age. hmm, we are coming to an age of, I mean, we have artificial natural intelligence, we have artificial general
Yeah.
intelligence, we're going to have artificial super intelligence, ASI, and we are going to get there very soon, very, very soon. So if we are actually scared at this moment to adapt what we currently have, right? Or we are thinking that this is just a wave, like all the normal text, and then it goes into,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but we are just getting started. This is only the beginning. It's going to get a lot bigger than this, right? And I was watching a lot of robotic videos the other time that they are integrated capabilities into using artificial intelligence and the rest of those. And they are getting smarter by the day,
Yeah.
right? We have robot guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? We have a lot of those. But projecting to the next future or into the nearest future, robots will be intelligent. They'll be able to think for you. They'll be able to handle an entire business. And besides, I think you know about agentic AI. Agentic AI can sit down and handle
Of course.
multiple departments inside of a single organization. And that's just the beginning. It's going to become widely blown, right? And when we are talking about robots, robots will soon having they will soon start having the standard human faces. It's just we are just at the beginning phases.
Yeah.
I mean, They still have all these robotic looks, but very soon you may not really be able to differentiate between what a robot is and who a human being is because they will look so much alike, right? So we are projecting that into the future because they're already building and perfecting. Every single day, companies are going crazy. I'm talking Meta, I'm talking Tesla, I'm talking Google,
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah.
these guys are going crazy to recruit AI talent. And you need to hear the enormous crazy amounts that they are offering to young chaps that can give them this ability. So if these guys are crazily investing in it, I mean, I'm not sure you want to treat it as another wave. It's going to stay for a long time, right? And it's just better to adapt it at the early stage so that you'll be able to grow with it as it grows, right? And then you'll be able to scale with it as it scales.
All right. Honestly, I'm almost overwhelmed here right now, right? You mentioned several things. You mentioned even Meta adopting artificial intelligence. I was reading the news a couple of days ago, and I saw that Meta is launching this new bio AI organization that helps AI solve problems around biology, diseases, pests, and things like that. And I'm like, wow, have you gotten this far? I mean, how do you start to find out? How do you start to think? I mean, now even beyond the research and several things like that. Last year, I met a young man last year who says he is into AI research. And what he does basically is that what this thing does is that they try to build them they try to build workflows from the scratch. They try to map different things. He was currently working on an AI agent or something like that that basically helps you to map the connections between your brains, your neurons, and several things like that. So he's able to perform surgeries on the brain and things like that. I'm like, what have we gotten this far? I mean, it's moving really
Yeah.
fast. It's moving really fast, and I'm almost like many people will be left behind. Honestly, many small
Yeah.
businesses, many medium businesses, they will definitely be left behind. It's no longer a race, and that begs the question for me, right? And I want to ask. I mean, what really are the what should we be thinking right now when it comes to artificial intelligence? What should we be thinking? What should we be considering? Small businesses, medium scale businesses. I mean, we are going about our day to day operation. Picture this: we are going about our day to day operation. We are making money. It's not like as we're not making money. Now you are here telling me that there's something called artificial intelligence that is going to take my job or it's going to affect the way I'm doing things. It's going to make me run loss. I mean, but I'm making money. Customers are coming, so there's no need. Where do we find that sense of urgency? How do we define
Mm.
that sense of urgency that something is here that is going to kick you out of business in the coming years? How do we help to define that? I think that's my next question.
Alright. So for that sense of urgency, right? I think it's going to come from when businesses get informed, right? So businesses that still have that mindset is because they are not informed. They don't have access to the right information. And that's simply because they are not plugged into the right sources, right? So if you are seeing a bio AI that can already see or connect to the neurons and see how they work, of course, that's possible for AI because there were some of them that were basically built based on the structure of the neurons and how the brain operates. So of course they have the capability to do that, right? We have what we call neural networks. Neural networks were actually built based on the full structure of how the brain operates. And there are tons of crazy calculations behind that, but let's leave it. But then when it comes to businesses, you are scared. That's the problem. We allow our fears overcome our abilities to make
Yeah.
correct decisions. So you are scared that this thing is going to come and take my job and it's going to kick me out. Can you at least start from where you are and take all you can? Take all you can at this moment before it's able to take over your business. At least we are talking about before AI can fully take over an entire business at the crazy pace that it's going. We're talking about probably a couple of years, 8, 10 years before it gets to that super intelligent phase. That is the only time when it can actually take your business. And the other point that I need to mention is the fact that we have people who are actually in the field of ethical AI, and their work is to make sure that they are inputting the correct parameters to make sure that people that are building AI don't go beyond a scale such that AI does not go into this field or is not able to tamper with things. So all those movies that I have seen about AI taking over the world, we still have a couple of years to get there, right? I'm not going to promise you that you're not going to get there, but not as terrible as the movies portray them. But we still have a couple of years before we get there. But at this moment, when AI can be your assistant officer, right? Can you take up the capabilities that it can offer and use that to create value at the moment, rather than thinking it's going to take away my business? That should be your mindset. What can I use this specific thing that's been going on and on? Where can I involve it in my business's operations to make things seamless and to make things a lot better? That should be the question that you should be asking yourself. It's just like saying that I have a new shoe and this new shoe is just new. It's too expensive. I'm just going to keep it there and keep looking at it because at the end of the day, if somebody sees me outside, they are going to rob me because they know it's expensive. That's a crazy mindset. So you bought a shoe and then you're going to leave it there. So it's just like being gifted with a blessing or having a blessing and being scared to incorporate it because you are thinking of a future that is yet to happen. You're building your business based on what ifs. And you as a leader, what does that tell your team? Your team is seeing how much things can be easier and better for them as a full business. But you as a leader, you are deciding not to adapt it just because you are scared and you're leading your team on what is. Are you actually sure you can lead the organization to where it needs to be? Because if you keep dwelling on the what is, you never take actions, you never take risks. And every single business I know about actually takes crazy risks. At the point in time, it's just our
Of
risk
course.
appetites are different. Honestly, our risk appetites are different. That's why you see Elon Musk. He will invest his entire livelihood in an entire thing that he doesn't know is visible yet. Nobody has ever created it
I'd
before. But he's
expect I'd
pulling
expect
everything into
something.
it. That guy is crazy, but he needs to be studied. He will
It's
put his
crazy.
entire livelihood into it. And the first one failed, the second one failed, the third one. He refused to give up until he actually saw it go. Actually saw it fly. I think we need to start looking at those other people. So if you're not willing to take risks, if you're not willing to bear some odds, right, that we feel like this could be crazy, why are we businesses? There's a need to adapt. Of course, things will happen that will not be suitable. There will be moments that things will not really go well. Without you adapting to the use of AI, or with you adapting to the use of AI, whether you like it or not, your business will still go through some phases. So why
Of
don't you make
course.
the life
Of
of
course.
yourself and everybody else in your business, why don't you make their life a lot better by incorporating it? So we need to shift from that mindset of fear of AI is going to take over. If I feed my business data into AI, it's going to go crazy. That's the problem. You can actually define the portion of your business data that you're feeding into AI. You can decide that this is the only place where I need AI to handle, right? And at the end of the day, you still have to oversee the entire operation. You're not pulling everything into AI, but you're seeing what AI is doing is helping you make better decisions. But at the same time, you still have that creativity that is peculiar to your business that makes you stand out from every other businesses because you are still overseeing the operations of AI in your business. And you still have people in charge of overseeing the operations of AI in your business. So you can decide the data that you're feeding or your business data that you're feeding into AI. You can decide where you want AI to be in control. You can decide to put people in charge to make sure that you're not at full blown risk. And please stop being scared that AI is going to. You have not gotten to the stage of AI taking over your job yet. AI is not that good yet. You have not gotten to super intelligence. At the moment, it's just still a speculation that researchers are working towards. It's only when we get to the age of super intelligence that you have to be. But at this moment, come on, can you just adapt to one that you can adapt already and save everybody the stress of doing manual work when it can be a lot better, right? So honestly, I feel like that's what I'm going to tell small businesses. Honestly,
Honestly.
honestly.
Honestly. So here's my take on small businesses. Right? Here's my take on
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, businesses, whether you're a small business or a
Mhm.
big business.
Mhm.
Businesses are the elements to which a community drives. Let's picture this. If you look at industrialization in the US many
Yeah.
hundreds, almost a century ago, it was as a result of the businesses that rose up. I mean, businesses
Mhm.
rising up, they provided employment, they provided finance in the economy, and
Yeah.
several other things like that. Look at China. China has tons and tons of entrepreneurs. I feel that entrepreneurs are like they are integral factors to growing a country or to building a prosperous country. And I mean, in an age where there is a pattern to which businesses should be doing things, I feel that particularly businesses in Nigeria, in Africa, should be embracing this. I heard a news a couple of days ago. I don't know how true it is. I don't know how true. I think it was Dr. Ibuka Woshika. She was talking about how, was it Dr. Ibuka Woshika or Tara Drotori? I think it was Tara Miss Tara Drotori. So she was talking about how entrepreneurs are starting to amass in Nigeria, in Africa. We are starting to get more persons, more entrepreneurs, more persons interested in entrepreneurship, more persons doing entrepreneurship, more persons building businesses, growing businesses, and things like that. And it just talks about the age of things. It talks about the new advancement of things. So, in a nutshell, here's my take, right? Businesses that really want to grow, that really want to change things. You said something earlier. You mentioned value, right? Unless if you're not willing to offer value, unless if you just want to get the money and leave. If you truly want to offer value to your customers, if you truly want to offer value for what you do, then you must start to thrive by what is currently growing businesses. It's not like as if AI is a must now, right? But we will start to see that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, businesses that use AI would be clearly different from businesses that do not use artificial intelligence in their processes. They will be clearly different. How? Businesses that use artificial intelligence start to get more productive. They start to get more productive. They start to do things more. They start to offer services cheaper. And we start to see customers tilt towards them. Why? Because they're able to deliver faster, they're able to deliver more value, they're able to get things done better. But businesses that are still following the manual process will start to get less customers, because I mean, if the demand is high, tilted towards a particular angle or a particular side of things, I mean, demand definitely it definitely affects what businesses, the other businesses using the manual process. And I start to envision some of these things, and it's going to get really competitive. I don't think it gets any better for businesses, really. I don't think it gets any better for businesses. So, in as one of my final questions, I want to ask that what advantage do you think small businesses can take hold of now for artificial intelligence? What I mean is, what advantage do you think we can get to become more competitive? How do you think we can employ artificial intelligence and get more competitive? What areas should small businesses be looking at? I mean, it's very difficult to say now. I was speaking to a small business owner the other day. She says, "Oh, I'm not getting more than 4 to 5 orders per day. Although I plan for my business to grow, but I'm not getting more than 4 to 5 orders per day. And 4 to 5 orders, I can still basically just follow my manual processes, use my manual processes, and operate all of those things. So I don't need an AI agent, or I don't need artificial intelligence to help me with anything. But really, what are the advantages that we should start to look at, as opposed to looking towards the wrong side? What do you think are the advantages artificial intelligence or technology offers to small businesses or medium level or medium scale businesses?
Okay, I actually love that question. Right, I very much love that question. So some of the advantages is increased productivity. That's one thing that you can't debate. Productivity is going to be increased, right? Because what would take you as a person to do? Remember, I said businesses must do their research, right? In as much as businesses are doing their research, right? When you actually sit with a research tool nowadays, of course, it will actually ask you to cross check. But rather than you sitting down with Google and sitting down to read tons of articles, you are actually able to tell the AI that is making that research for you to make sure that it is including references for where it is getting its point for. So you're able to cross check if the reference is correct or if it's not correct. You're trying to make research of trends in your industry in Nigeria, for example, and what the trends would be in the next 5 years, for example, right? When you research the current trends, you see, oh, these are the current trends, and these also are the you know, next 5 years trends that my business can plug into early for us to be an early player, right? So that's already helping you undo a part of your research. Of course, you can't fully depend on it because somebody else to be there to cross check the facts. But that has saved you a ton of business time. Number two, after you get the research trends, right, you are able to tell the AI, okay, this is where my business is at currently. How do you think we can incorporate these research tools? You are brainstorming with it. After that brainstorming session that you have had with AI, you take the output of the conversation and take it back to your team. How can we include the creative juices of our organization, the peculiarity and uniqueness of our organization into the solution? And how can we build it out in such a way that we stand at the forefront in the competitive edge of our industry? So your team sees it, they are building something amazing, and you're able to tap into the future while being in the present. That is already up in your productivity in some way. If other people actually see, or if businesses and your clients see that, okay, you seem to be offering them better value and you seem to be doing something of the future, sometimes it can be something very little or minute. Every single time I watch the video of these crazy guys, Japan seems to be living in the future. Sometimes it's just
Honestly.
their idea. There isn't a very little. It's just the idea of a transparent toilet, right? When you see that transparent toilet, it's transparent from the outside, so you're able to actually know. But immediately you enter it, it becomes covered. It's no longer transparent. So anybody that is looking at it from outside knows that somebody is inside. And I'm like,
Wow.
where are these people getting these ideas from?
I mean,
Sometimes
I
it's just
mean,
about you. Sometimes it's just about so they have a way of attaching probably spam on it. That's just when you think about innovation, it's not always literally technology in that sense. But ChatGPT, when you cover your business with sorry AI, ChatGPT brainstorm with these chatting tools, at least those are the most basic that businesses can adapt. Come on now, ChatGPT Plus is just 7,000 naira or 7,700 naira on a monthly basis. That's going to give you higher value, right? So basically, if small businesses sit within this setting of brainstorming and then taking back to their team to put their own uniqueness into it and they deploy it and it's creating values for their customers. Customers that are satisfied will always refer more customers. It works that way.
yeah,
Have one
that's
satisfied
true.
customer. That person will recommend tons of more
Mhm.
customers. I have one of my favorite clients in the business. I just did one simple work for this guy. And from the same guy, he has brought 5 other clients if I'm calculating really well. That single person brought more clients. So he's like my favorite person in the business right now. So it's really amazing. Once you certify just one customer, you're giving them value and they see that it's valuable, they're going to recommend many people. So that's one of the things, the ethical, the productivity that is going to offer you. Number two, when it comes to social media, lead conversion and the rest of that, AI can help you. And we're talking about Canva. Most businesses, one of the things that will put you out there is because you're in the age of social media, right? So one of the advantages that is going to give you a wide scope in the social space. Why? You have a business set out, you go back to an AI tool and you tell it, okay, this is what we are hoping to achieve. Please, can you create a content calendar for me? Right? It acts and besides, our problem is that we don't know prompt engineering. That's why we don't get what we want out of all these AI tools.
Yeah,
Prompt
I get
engineering is
it.
very important. Right. So when you sit down with it, create a content calendar for me. It basically creates a content calendar for you. And then you go back to Canva. You can bulk create on Canva. And then Canva is starting to incorporate AI tools into their operations. They are not perfect yet, but can you use it as a basic place? Right? It can create design tools for you. It can create, and then we have a lot of tools that can create videos for you. We have tools that can generate podcasts for you. Carry all your whatever you want to carry. This is my idea. I can only
Honestly,
write. I don't know how to create podcast. Carry your idea, your article, go and put it on notebook LLM. It will generate a short podcast for you out of that little thing that you can actually post on social media.
wow,
It can generate
wow.
infographics just from the article that you pushed to notebook LLM, right? So it helps you have like a good space on social media. Of course, you see that on the weekend, ChatGPT has already generated your content for you. You refine it to your taste and to suit the taste of your
Yes,
industry because it will also give you captions. But beware of those
of
captions.
course.
Sit down with it and refine those captions, right? Because ChatGPT just
Mhm.
like emojis. AI tools seem to like emojis. There are ways to detect them actually. Make sure that you are
Yeah.
sitting to refine them. When you are refining
Mhm.
them at the end of the day, you are producing something. Weekend, you are literally scheduling. You can schedule directly from Canva. I'm sure most people don't know this. But you can schedule your post. Connect your Canva to LinkedIn, connect it to what's it called, Facebook, connect it to Instagram. Canva has a built-in tool to actually schedule for you and post at the correct time. I've used it before. And how much is Canva subscription?
Wow.
2,800 naira on a monthly basis, just for a single person. Very cheap, and then you're adapting to that. So it helps you have the opportunity to get into the social space. Number three, let's talk about getting leads for your businesses. Automation. You get into you put up an automation, right? Just with a very simple tool that costs you sometimes less than $15 per month. You're setting up automation, you're running ads on Facebook. To that ad, you're connecting your automated bots to that ad. And from your automated bots connecting to that app is actually generating leads for you with people that are having conversations with it. And it's saving it for you in a database. And you can use the same AI to actually create marketing campaigns for the same leads that were generated
Mhm.
because it's
Yeah,
just about
yeah.
automation. So what are we talking about? Your business is running at the back end, and all you just have to do is to sit and be a supervisor. And I can keep mentioning different scenarios over and over again that this is why you should adapt. But I think I'm just going to stop at this top three. If this top three don't convince you, honestly, I don't know what else is going to help you, right? But these are just some of the short ways. And sorry, let me create a last example because I feel a lot of people need this. Passive income. Passive income. You have a rough draft of idea. Besides, I did something very funny recently. That's because I'm a bit code oriented, right? I did something very funny recently. In December, I had a short retreat, and then I decided, okay, I need an app that can track my productivity, but I also need it to have the ability to track my business and my clients. I need to have the ability to track my work time. I need to have the ability to do a to-do list for me. I need to have the ability to check my schedules. I need to have the ability to check in with my routines. And then I said, okay, which app can do this? It's basically like combining different apps together. And I thought, oh, no app can do this. And then I subscribed to the idea of I can use AI to build this myself. I did it myself. And inside the AI, I also have the functionality where I can
Let's
read
put
books
this,
from it because it will read to me.
let's put this into market. Let's put this into market.
And it's something that could do that for me. It has incorporated inside of it text to speech. I incorporated, besides, many people don't know that they can incorporate Grok for free. And it's also an LLM.
Mhm, mhm.
I have to incorporate Grok into it. I just wanted to be customizable to me and I customized it. So when you're talking about
Wow.
passive income, you have a rough draft of idea of what you want small businesses to know because of your years of experience, even if it's 1 or 2 years. But you want to speak to entrepreneurs that are just going to start up. Can you jot your points already? Pour your idea into it and then carry it and feed it into AI. I need to create a massive book out of this. And these are the ideas. It should be this number of chapters. This is what chapter one should be based on. This is what chapter two should be based on. You feed that, and as you are feeding that into it, it's picking it up for you and it gives you a book. You get that book, sit down with it, refine it.
Wow.
You push it to seller. All you just have to do is use the same AI to
God.
create the content calendar to advertise it for you. People are buying it. Your business is making passive income. I mean, what else do I need to say to really convince more businesses to start adapting it? I mean,
Ah,
let's just stop there because
honest-
I can just keep going on and on and on and on. But I'm just going to
honestly,
stop here.
this is gold. This is gold. This is gold. Honestly, I don't know how to react to this. This is really good. This is really good. I mean, if businesses realize this, even if you're a young hustler, you're someone just trying to make by, I mean, some of these ideas are things that you can start to do and make money for yourself, whether as a business owner or wherever you are. Make money for yourself, become more productive, and you are positioning yourself. You know, it's not just about making money now, you are positioning yourself for the future. It's not going to catch you unawares. It's not going to hit you by surprise because you were adequately prepared. You were adequately prepared. Honestly, Tolu, I'm bringing you back on this podcast. In fact, there's a small plan we are crafting to host a small event around May, April, May. I think we don't finalize on the dates yet. We want to talk about how artificial intelligence can really benefit small and medium scale businesses. I mean, we've not really figured it out. Something as simple as businesses using AI for creating their content calendar or for planning content, they don't know these things. And it's just shocking, really. It's shocking. It's surprising, really. See, this and many more are things I won't talk about. I mean, small businesses need to start embracing artificial intelligence, really. They need to start embracing artificial intelligence. As a final question before we call it a day, I want to ask, what's like your biggest advice right now for any small business owner listening to this? What's your biggest advice or your biggest take on artificial
Okay.
intelligence or technology?
Alright. So, my biggest advice right now, because I won't want us to shift outside of the scope, my biggest advice right now is sit down with your business and ask yourself, how can my business help me create more values for my? I'm still going to come back to this value matter. How can my business help me, or how can AI, how can AI help me create more values for my customers? How can I incorporate it into my operations in such a way that I still feel safe? Because I understand that our risk levels are different. How can I incorporate AI into my business operations to create more values for my customers while increasing my team's productivity? Because at the end of the day, if you have a team, you have to be an human centered leader, right? Make sure that you are able to interface with your team. If you are creating, you can't create values for your customers if your team is not good, if your team is not feeling good, if your team is not being productive, if you're not in the right state of mind. How can I input AI into my business operations to help my team feel a lot better and more productive while incorporating their creative juices, giving them ability to be more creative so that AI does, the repetitive tasks and to supply more values to my customers? That's the question. It's just a research question, yes, on purpose. It's a question for you to sit down and reflect on. So that's
Yeah.
honestly what my best advice would be. Get the answer to that question and start setting up, even if it's small, small, small systems to help with productivity, honestly. And besides, let's not forget about the fact that you can be very done or dense about something, and then you use an AI, and then all of a sudden you become a genius in it. Why? you have access to you have access to these tools.
My life
I don't
story.
see. Just be less than of some of us. I can be dumb about a single idea and then I'm just using AI and then AI is just explaining like a very cool teacher. One of the best teachers or one of the good teachers that you can have. Of course, don't make AI your full-on teacher. You still have to interact with people. But one of the good teachers that you can have that will not castigate you or that will not say, how can you be this dumb? But you can ask any silly and foolish question in this entire world. Just ask AI. It will not ask you, why are you like this? No, he does not have the ability to say or to criticize you. You're looking for education without criticism. Just go and do it with AI. It's going to educate you in the proper way. So just do your research, right? Start taking the baby steps to incorporate it to increase your team's productivity, right? So that you can have that time for the interactivity, you can have time for setting up good systems. When systems are in place, your business will flow seamlessly.
Amazing. 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 This is one of the longest podcasts I've had. I mean, ever. And honestly, this is good. Honestly, I feel like I should go and package this video as a course I can send.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm just making. I'll post it online. But really, this is really good. This is really good. Honestly, anyone that wants to really make effectful change, I mean, this is something that they should be hearing. This is wisdom they should be hearing, especially for small businesses. I mean, this is the mindset of growth. This is the mindset that you don't want to stay where you currently are. You want to improve. You want to get better. And I mean, if someone is not thinking in that direction, I mean, what other thing can you be thinking of? What other direction should you be thinking of? So it's been a very interesting conversation today. I mean, it's been almost 1 hour now.
Oh
It's been
boy.
almost 1 hour. I won't want to take I won't want to take any more of your time. I know you have your day packed up
Yeah.
already, but really, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much. In fact, if I say I'm not bringing you, let me announce it officially. I mean, I'm bringing you in for our events in April or May, particularly for small
That's great.
business owners. Let's talk about it. I mean, let's talk about I've tracked you officially. So let's talk about it, really.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. How should small and medium scale business owners be thinking? How should we be
Yeah.
thinking? Thank you so much, Tolu, for your time. It's been an interesting
So
conversation. Thank you so
my
much and do
pleasure.
have a great day. Yeah,
You
cheers.
too.